Thanks, Steve. I have a couple of co-authors to acknowledge on this report. Paul Sullivan with Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada and Ted Tresca with the Fish and Wildlife Service contributed to some of the material on this report. And of course, the entire sea lamprey control program, which is a pretty significant number of people, most of whom unfortunately are not in the room right now. But just going to provide a quick update on what we did during 2014 and an even quicker outlook at what our plans are in 2015. Don't want to stand between everyone and heat for too long. I don't know about you, but I could use a little bit of that. So, fish community objectives that are pertinent to sea lamprey control in Lake Huron include to reduce sea lamprey abundance to allow the achievement of other fish community objectives, and also to obtain a 75% reduction in parasitic sea lampreys by the year 2000 and a 90% reduction by the year 2010. I do think that this actually includes what Mike had talked about as far as accountability and a timeline, and also quantitative measures. You can see the difficulty with putting a timeline on some of these is that it's 2015 now and we're still looking at a 2010 objective. The specific targets associated with these fish community objectives, target number of adult sea lampreys is just under 76,000 for the lake. Confidence interval is plus or minus 20,000. And then fresh wounding rates, not more than 5 marks per 100 lake trout larger than 533 millimeters. So to start, I'm going to go over the activities of our lamprey control program during 2014. This is a picture from the foot dam on the Au Sable, not from last year though. Lamprey applications were completed in 12 tributaries, 1 U.S. lentic area, and 340 hectares of the St. Mary's River. One important note, the Chippewa River, which is a tributary of the Saginaw, there was an increased distribution on the North Branch, and it's not because of a removed or failed barrier or anything like that. It's just one of those situations where we found lampreys a lot further upstream than we used to. And so the treatment area of that system was increased. On other highlights, we've been doing sort of large-scale treatment efforts since 2010 in Lake Huron. And so 2010, 2011, and then 12 and 13 kind of did a geographic treatment strategy where we were treating all producers starting at the St. Mary's River and kind of working out around the basin. We kind of switched gears for 2014 and 2015. This first year is targeting large producers in Lakes Huron and Michigan. And so the intent of the strategy is to remove residual sea lampreys. So when we have streams that we consider large producers, we have somewhere likely between a 90 and 95% treatment effectiveness. And so we say, well, if there's 1 million to start and we treat 90 to 95%, there's still a whole lot left over. And so we're going to go in and treat again to try and get to those residual lampreys that we think are contributing to the lake-wide populations. So that's the target of this effort. So in 2014, we treated the Garden River as part of this. And then we also treated a number of 6 streams and 2 lentic areas in Lake Michigan to kind of, because Lake Huron has had so much treatment effort in the past 5 years, we found that the Lake Michigan streams we would actually target a lot more lampreys to kill with lampreycides going that route. So the Au Gres, Au Sable, and Pine Rivers, Pine near St. Ignace, are also part of the strategy. However, they were due for treatment just on sort of their regular cycle last year. They will be part of the strategy to do consecutive treatments. They'll be treated again in 2015. So here's a map of the treatments. This is also available in the report that's right outside, detailing our activities in Lake Huron during 2014. So St. Mary's, Root, Garden, Thessalon, Spanish, Saginaw, Rifle, Au Gres, Au Sable, Devil, Zakiak, Carp, Pine. Those are all the red dots that are up on there. Pretty much some of the usual suspects on the lake. There's not any in here that are brand new treatments. These are all systems that we know are infested and we treat regularly. Our barrier program is the main alternative control program we have within sea lamprey control, and the program operates and maintains existing sea lamprey barriers. It also ensures that sea lampreys are blocked at important or desired de facto barrier sites. Again, alternative controls. We limit their the habitat they can infest, and that helps us out with controlling them. Occasionally we construct new structures in streams, and this is typically where they provide control or where other options are impossible, excessively expensive, or ineffective. They provide a cost-effective alternative to lampricide control. They can improve cost-effective control in conjunction with attractant and repellent-based control, trapping and lampricide treatments, and if they're compatible with a system watershed plan. So activities, here's a map showing barriers around Lake Huron. 17 barriers in total, 13 of these are purpose-built, the rest are barriers that existed but were modified to block sea lampreys. So during 2014, 104 barrier sites on U.S. streams were visited to conduct barrier inspections, and also to sort of ground truth database we have running within the Sea Lamprey Control Program. Consultations to ensure blockage at barriers were conducted with partner agencies at 7 sites on 5 streams. The Charlotte, Sheboygan, Akiak, Thunder Bay, and Black Rivers were those 5 rivers. The Sea Lamprey Control Program really appreciates the ability to be able to hear about these projects, see what's going on with them, and kind of weigh in on things. We did concur with 6 of them, and the 7th we concurred conditionally, and that's a project that is intending to remove the Lake Kathleen Dam on the Maple River, which is a tributary of the Sheboygan, and we're on board with it because there is a new blocking structure that will be constructed just downstream of the dam that exists now. So that project is moving slowly forward, is my understanding. On the Saugeen River, Denny's Dam is a topic that we've heard about for the past couple of years. Rehabilitation of that dam is currently on hold. There's pending consultation between the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation and the OMNRF. On the Still River, the DFO crew went in and found some sediment upstream of the barrier that was flushed out during the fall of 2014. When they were doing that, they noticed that the stop logs were being lifted during periods of high flow, which is increasing the escapement risk. And so a locking mechanism is going to be installed during 2015 on that system, hopefully to stop the risk of any upstream migration of spawners. There are also 2 new barriers being proposed in Canada. One on the Pine River, the Trib Nottawasaga. They always give me the really complicated river names to say up here, by the way. I'm getting better at them. So the Nottawasaga is supposed to is being proposed. There's a barrier being proposed on that system, and also the Big Head River. Department of Fisheries and Oceans met with OMNRF in October. New barrier sites were identified because there were concerns with the initial barrier sites that were proposed, and data loggers have been installed there, and hydrological data is being collected to help plan those projects. Our larval assessment, this was not actually taken on a Lake Huron tributary. This was in near the Garlic River in Marquette, but this is one of our crews doing some balicide assessments, and a little baby moose came to visit us, which was pretty cool. So we assessed larval sea lamprey presence, absence, and size structure in not 100 but 99 tributaries and 19 lentic areas. And as part of that, we estimated populations in 19 tribs and 5 lentic areas. We looked in 30 new streams for potential new producers, and thankfully did not find any. That's always kind of a good feeling for us. We evaluated treatment efficacy in 12 tributaries and evaluated barrier effectiveness in 6 tributaries, did not find any escapement issues on barriers. In association with the barrier unit, we also had a study that went on to examine the production potential of Saginaw River tributaries kind of upstream of barriers. So this is a project that we're starting to pick away at because it's pretty substantial, but just sort of looking at what is the impact of possibly removing some of these barriers to our program specifically. So we're looking at habitat composition upstream of them, and also native lamprey populations because as an indicator of how many sea lamprey these streams could hold if a barrier was removed. So the analysis on this work is ongoing. It was a significant amount of work all summer. I'll have more about it in the future. Specifically on the St. Mary's River, we continued to assess larval sea lamprey populations there. There were 880 deep water electrofishing drops to sample that, and these are post-treatment assessments. And so the St. Mary's River larval estimate in 2014 was 1.05 million. This is a graph kind of showing the time series. We had a couple of large balicide treatments just prior to this time series, 2010 and 11. We treated a lot in the St. Mary's River with balicide, and so we're really happy to see that these larval estimates continue to stay suppressed. They're climbing a little bit. We're still, yeah, we're continuing to assess them and treat them annually. We also do a juvenile assessment. We FICEnet for newly transformed, out-migrating juvenile lampreys in the fall and winter when it's really great conditions. The FICEnets were operated for a total of 495 net days. CPUE was 0.04. This is just a figure kind of showing the catches through the time series. Again, we're glad to see sort of slightly suppressed catches after our larger balicide treatments. Our adult trapping captured just about 2,400 our adult sea lampreys. Our estimate was just about 14,000. Efficiency, usually on the St. Mary's, our trapping efficiency is a lot higher than this. There was one of the traps, the old powerhouse trap on the US side, didn't fish this year. They were doing some maintenance to the site, and so that's why our efficiency is so low on that one. But this estimate is pretty close to what we've been seeing recently from the St. Mary's River. Moving on to our adult assessment program lake-wide, we did capture just under 29,000 adult sea lampreys, and our estimate was 104,000. This is a lot better news than what I presented 2 years ago, which was that point. So I'm happy to say that we are now down here. Hopefully an indication that our significant treatment effort on the lake is doing something. And so slightly above targets, although as Jess pointed out yesterday, the confidence interval is very slightly over that. But we're moving towards the place we want to be, so that feels good to our program anyway. Marking, Ted Tresca put this slide together showing marks per 100 lake trout in Michigan waters during 1984 to 2014. We're at slight decline from last year, but just around 12 marks per 100 lake trout still. Other activities going on with our program. There's continued adult sea lamprey tagging and collections in the Sheboygan River, and that's looking for evidence for or against a landlocked population. There's some continuing research that's going on in that system. There's continued testing of eel ladder style traps. Jessica Barber talked about those yesterday. It's basically a mechanism for us, an alternative trapping method that kind of pre-sorts lampreys from other finned fishes that we're looking to see how we can use to make our trapping program stronger. There was a study to test a portable trap with vertical electrode pulse DC lead in Bridgeland Creek, which is a trip of the Thessalon River, captured just under 3,000 lampreys. Nick Johnson with USGS is doing that work. And so just a quick summary, lake trout marking is above targets right now, but declined during 2014. Adult abundance is above target with a declining trend. The barrier program continues to provide a mechanical control method alternative control of sea lampreys throughout the basin. And larval assessment, we're continuing to count lampreys in streams and then also look for potential new sources, both in streams and in lentic areas. St. Mary's River control assessment and trapping activities are ongoing, and we plan to continue that into the future. And an active research program continues to investigate new techniques to make our program better, trapping and lots of other topics. So I just have a couple of slides about what we're planning on doing in 2015. We are continuing the large-scale treatment effort on large producers. So as I said, we started that in 2014. 2015, we're continuing that effort. Streams up for treatment, the Garden, Spanish, Osable, Pine River near St. Ignace, the Shiawassee, which is a trib of the Saginaw, and Taos Lake Outlet. So they're kind of spread out around the lake. In addition to those, there's going to be 20 stream treatments and 5 lentic areas on Lake Huron treated, and 304 hectares of the St. Mary's River. And so this graph is kind of showing, this is field days that we've spent on Lake Huron tributaries treating since 1980. You can see our 2015 effort is pretty similar to what we had last year. Overall, pretty high in the time series, so hopefully continuing to suppress lamprey populations enough that we see more lake trout. Our barrier program, we're going to continue barrier site visits for ground truthing. BIPS is the barrier database system in on the US side, and conduct a preliminary engineering inspection of Nicholston Dam on the Nottawasaga, and develop and investigate options to ensure blockage there. Our larval assessment program, assess larval populations in tributaries and lentic areas to direct lamprey site treatments. That's our pretty much our main focus. One thing that is new, our adult assessment program is going to move away from a model-based estimate and to an adult index. This figure is kind of showing, I believe the red is the index, right? Is that right? Red is the index and the blue is the model base. So this is kind of showing over the past 20 years-ish how things look different between the current model, which is blue, and then the new index, which is red. And so the hope is to get more accurate estimates by using a subset of actually trapped streams versus using a model estimate to get an estimate for all producers in the lake and then having a higher level of uncertainty with it. So there's a couple of, we've had some discussions about this throughout the last couple of years. I think there's more information available. If you'd like it, I can send it your way. And so because of that, our trapping network on Lake Huron is actually going to be reduced. We're trapping only 6 tributaries this year. The Echo, St. Mary's, Bridgeland Creek on the Thessalon River, Akiak, Sheboygan, and East Agray. Also on the adult assessment, we're going to continue to continue ongoing design work for a permanent trap at the foot dam on the Ossawa River. That's a glypher project, and then initiate a plan for new permanent traps at the East Agray and St. Mary's River sites. That's all I have. I can take any questions.